September went by in a flash, and fall will be over before we know it. The Greater Toronto Area housing market has begun to improve this September, with home sales up 8.5% over this same month last year. Buyers are starting to take advantage of more affordable market conditions brought about by interest rate cuts and lower home prices. In mortgage lending news, some positive changes were announced by the federal government last month, where existing mortgage holders will now have the ability to shop around for the best rate without facing a stress test. This will result in more affordable renewals. Further changes were announced where the increasing of the $1 million price cap for insured mortgages to $1.5 million and a 30-year mortgage amortization expanding for first-time home buyers and to buyers of new build effective December 15th. Hey there, I'm Matt Sloan and I'm a realtor here in the Greater Toronto Area. And if I could ask a huge favor, if you could hit that subscribe button, it would mean a lot, as I'm really working to grow my new YouTube channel. And if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. So it's that time of the month where we review what has been going on in the most recent stats of the Greater Toronto real estate market. So stay with me while I pull up some charts that will break down what we have been seeing recently and what we could expect in the coming months ahead. So again, as we mentioned, there's a lot of good things going on for buyers and they're starting to take advantage of it. But as you'll see here, there's quite a bit of inventory on the market depending on where you are located and the home type that you have or looking for throughout the GTA. So this first chart I like to bring up is this Dochart here. It's from June 2020 all the way to September 2024. So as you can see here, everything except for, this little spike in, the beginning of 2022 where interest rates are at an all-time low and the market really took off. Everything is pretty consistent with, some seasonal changes and ebbs and flows throughout the year. So as we look on these past few months, we saw, a little spike throughout the spring and then a little dip throughout the summer, typical of what we see, what we see in a normal real estate market. And then slowly picking back up as we head into the fall months here, likely September and October. And then we might see it level out in November with a slight dip in December again. That is what I expect to come, even though we do have a lot of positive changes for home buyers just around the corner and starting to happen now. Over to the numbers. For the average sale price year to date, we are at $1.12 million. So not too much has changed in the average sale price year to date. As for number of sales, we started to pick up a little bit again, as I mentioned earlier in September. So we're at just under 52,000 right now, which is just about 3.5% less than last year. And again, if we remember, last year was an not all-time low, but we haven't seen that little sales in a couple decades. So it was a very slow year last year and we're still trending on that right now. But with these positive changes around the corner for buyers and home prices slightly coming down, not much, but slightly depending on where you're looking, I think we will see some sales start to pick up here as we make a push towards the end of the year. And then lastly, days on market. Homes are sitting on market a little bit longer than we're typically seeing around this time. 23 days on market. But again, depending on your home type and depending on where you're located and how you're priced, those days on market may vary. One number here that's very important to look at, which again really shows us how things are going, is the months of inventory. This big red number at the bottom here. We're over 5 months of inventory. So we're in a buyer's market right now, according to this. And again, according to what we're seeing in the market right now. So we are really in a buyer's market, especially for, the condos or, those priced with a lot of inventory around their area. We're seeing a lot of inventory there. So good time to take advantage. So we'll continue to keep an eye on that number. If those months of inventory start trending downwards over the next couple of months, that will be the sign where, okay, things are going to start picking up. How much they'll pick up, your guess is as good as mine. It just depends on, again, what product you're looking at or what product you're selling. Over here, this monthly sales data chart, this shows the last 13 months. So we can really compare it to last September. As you see, last September, the average sale price was 1.119, and now for September, we're at 1.107. Not a huge change in the average sale price. And again, if you look at all the months of inventory over the past year, we're at the highest that we've seen, and the highest that we've seen really in quite some time, with over 5 months of inventory. Lastly, we can pull up how the last 6 years of September have acted. Again, if you look at active listings, we have over 25,000 active listings right now. Heavy buyer's market inventory amount where typically we'd be seeing 17, 18,000 in the month of September. In 2021, when prices were skyrocketing or starting to skyrocket, we had just over 9,000. So no wonder prices went up like crazy at that point. But still, we were only at 1.135 million, and we had 9,000 sales and 9,100 active listings. So the prices are still holding firmly, when you compare that, when you see, last month we had 4,900 sales and 25,000 active listings. So a ton of inventory on the market, it shows there. But again, prices are kind of staying strong around that $1.1 million range. So even though we have seen these changes of inventory and to the market, prices are still holding relatively strong. Lastly, I wanted to bring up this chart here of the Canada 5-year government bond, just because, again, this is something that I guess people don't always realize. This is what helps react, or the 5-year variable rate, fixed rates react to, right? So we were seeing back on September 16th, the 5-year bond was at 2.6, and we were seeing fixed mortgages at even 3.99%, I heard, for 5 years. So again, people were locking those in and, taking advantage of the lower home prices. We've started to see it creep up here the last couple of days, so just over 3 now, and we can likely see the fixed rates creep back up a little bit. So if you are thinking of buying, or you are in the market, even if you're on the fence, contact your mortgage broker or your realtor that may know a mortgage broker, and or the bank, and try to get something locked in, just in case the 5-year bond continues to trend upwards. At least you have it locked in, right? And you can take advantage of these prices. I don't think there'll be too much movement. I think it might hover around here after that spike, but we'll continue to keep an eye on that and see where it goes, as that will give a big indicator on what we can expect for fixed rate mortgages. Lastly, the variable rate is coming up here in October 24th. So the Bank of Canada will announce another rate cut. That's what's expected. Whether it's 25 basis points or 50 basis points, we will see. That'll be another thing to watch out for, to see what's going to happen as we close out the year. If you have any other questions on the market or what's happening in your area, or something that you are looking to purchase that you might be interested in, please feel free to reach out. My contact's below. You can book a time with me that works for you. And if not, we will see you in the next one for more Greater Toronto Area real estate tips.